I'm Austin Sims, the Executive Director of the Madison Main Street program. We are located in downtown Madison, Indiana. We have been supporting businesses in downtown Madison for over 40 years. And a part of supporting those businesses is helping to establish connections and entrepreneurs to resources here in our beautiful downtown Madison. A pop-up business is usually thought of as something that is temporary, but in Madison, Indiana, we've seen lots of different pop-up businesses that have started as either trucks that have stopped here, pop-ups in empty spaces along Main Street, or these are pop-up businesses at festivals. Nationally, a pop-up business is recognized as someone that is trying to learn their market better, take advantage of not being set in stone in one specific place yet, and also take the time to gain customers and really learn what their customers want as they're finding the right space for them.
I read this random article on how like fashion trucks were kind of a thing in New York and bigger cities and things like that. So I was like, I think I can do that. I'll just buy a truck and do that. If it doesn't work, I'll just sell the truck. So that's how that happened. So we outfitted a box truck into a mini store. It was 60 square feet. That usually kind of exploded into about 200 square feet when I would do shows and festivals and things like that. So we did that for a good 5 years. I would go downtown Louisville and park in, front of office buildings. I did all kinds of events and fairs and festivals, and started with that. And then, God, we toyed with a lot of different things as far as I was in a mall for 2 years, doing that as well. I had a kind of temporary store there, but then we came to Madison on a whim. Literally on a whim, we just came to Madison, and it was October. Remember it very fondly. We just came for a shopping day, and we were on our way out, and we walked by this store that you can see around me, and there was a little sign, little pizza box sign in the window that was like, for rent. And so anyway, I got in touch with the owner, and I was like, hey, I'd really like to just try this. I'd like to try to do a pop-up and see if, this is like an area. I feel like it looks good, it feels good. I just would like to see if that's, something that I would want to do. Anyway, so we did a pop-up. We did a Christmas pop-up the week of Christmas. It went really well. The store did not at all look like it does now. I had like literally 4 racks in here and no lighting and a pop-up fitting room. It was madness. It was crazy. But it went really well. And so that's really how we just came to be here in Madison. And then we just kind of took a leap of faith and was like, we're gonna do it, sold the truck, and moved everything here to Madison.
Anyone can be a pop-up business. A lot of people assume that you can only be a pop-up business if you're into retail, but we've seen time and time again, even established businesses branch out with new product by going to the farmer's market or trying new menu items or hosting other pop-ups within their business to help expand their customer base. So anyone can be a pop-up. We have over 200 known businesses in just downtown Madison alone. 34 plus of those are restaurants, cafes, wineries, and breweries. So there's a great amount of space to expand your established business here already in downtown Madison, or there's a lot of great space and potential for you to open that dream that you've always had to start whatever business it is, and we're here to help you do that.
Madison is just, it's unreal. I've been very fortunate to travel to other small towns, and there's nothing that compares. Opening a store and being on Main Street every day and listening to the folks who came in, who were just in awe of it, really it opened my eyes to things that I had never paid attention to. And from a business standpoint, I think Madison is just unique that, not only are we a tourist destination, but we have such a wonderful local support group. And I always tell people, yeah, tourism's great. It definitely helps pay the bills. But for me, I find it to be the icing on the cake. I am definitely supported by my locals. There's nothing in here you can't find somewhere else, but people, I think they see the passion. They want it to work, and they're happy to support that little business that is on Main Street. There's no other place that I would want to own a small business, raise a daughter, or do business with, you know, other people. It's just, it's definitely precious.
It's funny because that's all I ever did was pop-ups for like a long, long time. So I was very familiar with it. I think a lot of people weren't really familiar with that concept, maybe here in Madison. So I was like, look, it's just like a little temporary. I'm gonna come in for a week. I'll pay you, you know, X, whatever you want. I'll pay you X amount of dollars just for that week. And just to kind of like test it out, or test it, you know, test a product out, or whatever.
What brought my business to Madison is probably one of my favorite stories. I was fortunate to be able to do a show in Alabama where I first met my friend Kara Fox, who has Little Golden Fox, and her and I were set up next to each other, and we got to know each other through this show. And being on the show circuit, Kara was brought down to North Carolina to do a show, which is where I was, and her and I got to talking, and she walked into my store that I had down there, and she stopped and she said, "You need to bring this to Madison. Would you ever consider relocating your business to Madison?" And I was like, no. You know, all of that work that you can just picture in your head.
The minute I saw her business and the more time I had kind of spent with her, I knew she was a perfect fit for here.
And then it was my husband who said, you know, maybe we should go there to see what you're saying no to. And we made the trip here during a time when he had some days off. And so we came to Madison unannounced just so we could see what it was. And when we saw Madison, I was like, oh my gosh, this is very charming. And we just noticed so many things right off the bat about how busy Main Street was at 8 o'clock at night. And, you know, we just started thinking about it in a different way. We had to make a decision. We decided we're either going to go for it. You either had to decide, are you going to go for it or are you not? You've got to decide one way or the other. There's no in between. And, you know, when you look at the big picture and you can kind of see what an opportunity is, and you have to put your business hat on also. And we decided it was going to be the right move for us.
And so, long story short, they came to visit, they made an offer on a house, and we could not find a place for her to relocate. So at that time, I was very focused on just doing classes, and we put her in here for a year. Needless to say, she's got one of the most beautiful stores in Madison, and talk about, you know, a force. So, you know, she didn't really, it was not so much that she needed my space. She had a business, but she needed to get in here and figure out where was going to be the place for her to land. I definitely have a passion for wanting to see somebody else take a stab at trying to get their business up and going, or I love to see someone who's got a good product that maybe just doesn't have the courage to rent a place or make that investment, or doesn't even know how to go about it. And I've been very fortunate and blessed to have extra space.
Renting space in another store has both advantages and disadvantages, actually. And we totally embraced the advantage of all of it because it allowed us to set up shop in an area that we were totally unfamiliar with. It was almost like, you know, you've got your friend there holding your hand, introducing you to people that they've known all their lives. You're getting your foot wet in a new area. You're learning, you know, your community, and it's nice to be able to, there's a sense of security there. And so even though you're having to jump in, you've got this little security blanket that's there when you have a question. There's always somebody there to ask. And it's a unique opportunity. The disadvantage to it is, you know, when you're moving into a smaller space from an already bigger space, it's just the square footage is what the disadvantage is. So you just have to kind of embrace it and know that eventually, you know, at least for us, we always knew that that would be a temporary situation. And so then it was kind of neat to conform our business into a smaller model and it helped us to refine some things for when it was time to move. If you are presented with the opportunity to rent space within another business, you want to clearly define parameters and get it in writing so both of you know there's no gray area in how you are supposed to function. That will help ease the question of, well, can I do this or can I do that? You just want to both clearly define your borders, your boundaries, so you know what you have to work with while you are there.
You have to make sure, as a business owner, you have to make sure that that it's not costing you to share your space with someone else. And so, you know, whether it's a percentage or a flat fee, there's a couple different ways you could do that. You know, we've done everything from, you know, say, I don't know, 30% or $150 per month, whichever's greater. You know, I learned the hard way. Sometimes when you're consigning and you just say 30%, it might sit there, and if it doesn't move, you have just lost space and money and potential, you know, for you to have sold your own product. There's also ways, I know antique stores and some of these boothy type businesses, you know, they trade for work. You know, instead of paying that flat fee for a space to rent, you know, you come in and you work so many hours, which I think is wonderful because then that allows the person to sell their product. And as anyone who's been in small business knows, nobody sells your goods like you do. I'm always looking, always recruiting, whether it be a particular product line or even another business. You know, my wheels never stop, and those who know me and know me well know that I am always looking to bring more to Madison. And, you know, people have to change their mentality of, you know, that's a duplicate business, that is, you know, that's gonna hurt me. No. When I opened the consignment business, at that time, the economy had tanked. There was not another consignment store downtown. And I worked with the small business development on building this. Within 3 months, there were 3 stores within two or three blocks. I was a little devastated, but you know, I had a couple mentors. They're like, no, you're looking at this all wrong. You are going to get their customers, and they might get some of your customers. But what it did, it was a beautiful thing. These girls were from out of town, so they did bring different people into Madison. But it made me work harder. And it wasn't about trying to be better, but it was trying to be my best. And I knew I had to give those people a reason to come back. And so that's a good thing. You know, I don't believe it's a competition. We definitely need to learn to partner, but we need reasons to work better, harder, and to not get comfortable in what we do.
And I would say do it, just do it. I mean, Madison is, of all the places that I've ever been in or popped up in, Madison has definitely been the most welcoming and the most wonderful. Obviously, that's why I'm here for now eternity, hopefully. But I would say, yeah, just definitely do it, give it a shot, and just listen to your customer. That's always the most important thing I tell everybody anyway, but like, listen to what people say to you and take that information and run with it, and then, you know, people will reward you for that. I say do it, just do it.
If you're interested in learning more about businesses in Madison Main Street or downtown Madison, you can contact us at our website, madisonmainstreet.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Follow us, tag us, comment on something, and we'll be happy to connect with you.